Hey, this is Tyrel. I'm wanting to talk about today water filtration, and I'm going to show you how to build your own water filtration system. This site is mostly about preparing, and not necessarily just preparing for a catastrophic event in the government or end times event, but your water is essential, as we mentioned in several other videos, and whether there be a natural disaster, your water's not working, the water's not clean, hurricane, anything like that, it's good to have a water filtration system. You need to be able to have something that's going to give you clean, healthy water without all the bacteria and all the bad stuff. You don't want to just stick your head down in the river and hope for the best with that water. So I'm going to teach you how to build a very inexpensive version of the Berkey system. The Berkey filters, they work great, and they're for a cheaper one, you're going to cost around $200. I'm going to teach you a way that's going to cost you less than $50, a very inexpensive way. And here's what you're going to be needing. First of all, get a couple food grade buckets, 5-gallon buckets. Now you can do smaller if you want, you can go bigger, but a 5-gallon bucket, that's pretty standard. And preferably food grade. It says right here food grade. I got these at Tractor Supply, but just make sure definitely that there are no holes in them. You've got them cleaned out and everything like that. And then you want to get yourself a spigot. This one that I ordered on Amazon was like $3. I don't even think it was $4. It's got everything with it that you're going to need. This is a real Dalton filter candle. And this right here, we're going to use this as your filter. This was the most expensive part. I mean, the buckets themselves, they are about $3, anywhere from $3 to $5, depending on where you get them. You could even go to just a local store or bakery where they're getting these, and a lot of times they'll just give them to you free. They'll like be throwing them out after they've used what was inside of them. You just want to make sure you clean them out. But this was, I'm trying to remember, it was right around $25. You can get them anywhere from about 22 to 22 on up. This one was about $25. And then you're going to need a drill. You're going to need this. It's going to be about 7/16 inch. And then this, you need this to be about 1 inch. And then a file. So now that we have all the parts that we're going to need, let's get started. Alright, well, now we've got our 7/16 bit in here in the drill. We want to take our top bucket, put it upside down, and the bottom bucket's lid right on top of it. Make sure it's centered pretty good. Now, a lot of people will use 2 of these candles, just so the flow will go into the bottom bucket quicker, because you got 2 different ones filtering it and 2 different drip holes filtering it. I'm just using 1, 2. It doesn't make much of a difference, other than the more you have, the more for speed. So a lot of these things we do are not stuff that you need to have a lot of money to do, and I don't have a lot of money, so I'm just using 1. It's going to work absolutely fine. So now we just hold this in place and we drill our hole. We want to make sure we drill right through here into your bucket and through that hole too, because this is going to be going on the exact same spot. So there, now we have our hole drilled through here. Now on to the next step. Now let's take our file. As we've seen, we just drilled right through here, got our nice hole. Just went through on this bucket. And just take your file, just go around here, just kind of smooth out the edges a little bit. So we got it nice and smooth, nice and good through here. we're going to be using this file a little bit more with the bigger hole. But just make sure we got a good smooth edge. That way we're avoiding all leaks. And now on to the next step. Alright, now make sure whenever you're using this, it's not just smoothing out the rough edges. The 7/16 was just a hair bit small. I could have tried to force this through here, but I didn't want to break it. So I just want it just perfect so I can just thread it. So I didn't show this on the video. I'm not showing 100% everything, but I'm showing the important stuff. But I had to do some extra threading just to make sure it's good and it's going to fit well. And now we've reached that. So make sure this is on here good. Turn it right in there. Alright. Pretty snug. Make sure we get our lid on. Now let's get that one in there. Already feeling pretty snug. Feels good. It's not going up anymore. Tyrel nut on here. Screw it on here for that matter. Nice and snug. Alright. Now if you look on the inside, it sticks up in there perfectly. Bottom, this is where it's going to be dripping out through. And this we will sit right on through here. So whenever we put the water that we got from the river, lake, wherever we got this water, rainwater, doesn't matter. It comes in here, you just dump it in here. It's going to filter through here, and then as it goes through the filtration system, it's going to slowly drip in here. And it'll take a while. You're not going to have a good steady stream. You're going to want to do this and come back in an hour or so, check on it, and see how much you got. It's going to take a little bit while, especially since we only have one candle instead of two. If you want to use two, a lot of people do that. By all means, go for it. But you only really need one, so I'm only going to do one because I'm not made of money. Now the next step, what we're going to be doing is taking our spigot, we're going to be plugging it in, so it's time to drill. Get ready for the next step. So I decided that I'm not going to use the 1 inch, I'm going to use the 1/2 inch. Now this is going to be a little bit smaller, but the inch is going to be too big, and you do not want leaks at all. So I'm going to use the 1/2 inch. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but we can still use this file and smooth around the edges and increase it just a little bit so we can reach our right size. So go in here. Now as you can see, this is a very small hole. It's not going to fit, so I'm just going to stick it back in here. Go around a little bit. And then we're going to file. Go to the next step. Alright, well, I just got done filing off the edges. Make sure it's a little bit bigger. Make sure it's smooth. And now, once you've got the right size, make sure it's perfectly round so you're not going to have leaks. Just screwing this in there. should have one of these on the front side and now one of these on the back side, and just screw in the back. Which if you see here, just screw it in right in here. And then on to the next step. Alright, and now you have it. We've got our spigot on here. Once again, go back to the first bucket. We got our candle in here. You fill this full of water and it's going to go through the filtration system. It's going to take a little bit of time, and since we've only got one of these in here, it's going to take a little bit more time. It's going to slowly drip. Come back and check on it in a few hours. And it's going to come on into here. And you're going to have your clean water here. And then just open up your spigot and water will come out. No water came out there because I don't want water to get on the floor, so I haven't filled it with water yet. But I recommend that the first time you do this, just like run one full cycle through first, and then on the second one you can go ahead and start drinking, just to make sure that there's not any like excess dirt. Make sure your bottom bucket, you bleach it out, you clean it out really good before you use, because it's going to be where your purified good clean water is. So now you know how to make a water purifying source, and without spending $200. You can do all this here, $30-40 bucks. So thanks for watching.